Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
And my name's Adele Quo.
And here we go with another show somewhere around, the Ides of March. Close. And our pre-St. Patty's Day show for 2014.
Or pre-March Madness.
Our pre-March Madness show, absolutely. Adele is back.
Thank you.
Good to have you back,
on a long
Adele,
assignment.
From your assignment. And so our news and CBB, Adele is here with
It's Easy Being Green.
You got the timing right this
We're
time.
getting good at that, aren't we?
Finally.
Our CBB file, Rich with his reviews, Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute. It's never too late to train your brain, news for seniors. And then Miriam Gennari talking with her guest, Peter Anderson. That's our show. But before we go, here's a social media reminder from my partner.
Absolutely, Craig. Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And yes, the number 1. And you can also visit us on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. No one. There's no one in that one.
No one. All right. Thanks, Daniel. Here we go with our first of our news items. The special election to replace Arlington County Board seat vacated by Chris Zimmerman will be next month, Tuesday, April 8. The deadline to register to vote is March 25. The candidates are, for the Democrats, Alan E. Howes, Janet Murphy. They'll represent the Green Party. And there are 2 independents, John Vistott, and Stephen W.C. Holbrook. To register to vote, visit vote.virginia.gov. To learn more about the elections, visit vote.arlingtonva.us/elections. There are 2 additional elections this year, a primary on June 10 and the general election on November 4. Hope you got all that. Daniel.
Lots of information, right, Craig?
Lots of info.
Well, on March the 17th, that's Monday, March the 17th, the Arlington Commissioner on Aging is holding their annual public hearing. It will cover the area plan for the aging services, the aging services budget, and the core service areas in Arlington. The hearing will be taking place at 9 a.m. at the Department of Human Services in the lower level auditorium. They are located at 2100 Washington Boulevard. The public is encouraged to come and their comments are welcome. For more information, call the Arlington Agency on Aging. That's at 703-228-1788. Craig.
And our next item here about something for you book lovers. Arlington resident and author Mary Wiest will be a featured speaker at the 20th Annual Virginia Festival of the Book. The festival runs from March 19 through the 23rd in Charlottesville in Albemarle County. Wiest is the author of Spessart Roots, a history of the people in a German forest. She'll be on the panel of a discussion about why we write what we write. You can visit www.virginiahumanities.org for more information on that event, or visit www.spessartroots.com for more on this book. Daniel.
Well, Craig, local producers, a staple local annual film festival is about to start up again. Arlington's Independent Media's 2014 Rosebud Film and Video Festival will soon be accepting submissions of the, quote, innovative, unusual, experimental, and deeply personal variety. Visit arlingtonmedia.org/rosebud film and video festival to keep track of all the updates. Seems like a fun festival indeed.
Rosebud is coming, you bet.
It's coming up.
Here we go with the next of our news items. Arlington Independent Media is also gearing up for this year's Document Arlington project, also called DAP or DAP. DAP is a 6-week paid television production apprenticeship program. Any Arlington County High School student are free to apply between now and the deadline, which is April 21. So if you want to apply for that DAP program, get busy. April 21, coming up pretty soon, sooner than you think. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Margaret Doyle of Yorktown High School and Marissa Shotwell of Washington Lee High School earned Best in Fair Grand Prize Awards at the Northern Virginia Regional Science and Engineering Fair. and will move on to the international competition to be held in May in Los Angeles. Doyle's project was the Ipomoebatatas leaf. Isolation and identification of its mosquito, larval agent. Shotwell's was the effect of different growth mediums on the strength of penicillin-said growth mediums produced. Liam David of Swanson Middle School won a middle school best in fair award for the effect of magnetic field on subatomic moons. And Arlington students whose projects will move on to the state competition to be held on March the 28th through the 29th at Virginia's Military Institute are shown on your screen. Some very, very
Good stuff
sophisticated
there. Boy,
words.
I'm glad
yeah.
you got that story, Daniel.
Yeah, how come you never get those
biology
stories?
and botany
God,
class all
come
rolled
on,
into
Nord.
one there. Here we go. Next item, if you haven't noticed yet, it's Girl Scout cookie time from now until March 23rd. Girl Scouts will be out across the county selling boxes of cookies, and they're out there in all sorts of locations. So look for those Girl Scouts selling cookies and buy a box. It'll do you good.
No sophisticated words in that story, right, Craig?
Nothing there, Daniel.
Well, a 19-year-old resident of Arlington's Leeway Overlea decided to make the most of our recent snow-in. Michael Craig built a massive 12-feet-high snow fort with an 11-foot by 11-foot base. He did it by himself in his front yard in the 6,000 block of 22nd Road North. It took about 40 hours using shovels, ladders, a recycling bin, and a wheelbarrow. Unfortunately, with our recent great weather, the snow mountain may now be a molehill or puddle.
If
Correct.
you go see it while it's still above ground.
Absolutely,
See it
yes.
before it melts completely. All right, well, Daniel and I will be back with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file right after we hear from Adele Quo. And
It's easy being green. Hey, Adele.
Hey, it's good to be back. And it is easy being green using our Mid-Atlantic native plants. Mercurial March brings a taste of spring while winter does not appear willing to fully release its grip on our area just yet. In anticipation of spring planting, though, this year visit a native plant sale in our area to find a wonderful and unique selection of healthy Mid-Atlantic native plants. Use native plants instead of high-maintenance turf grass or exotic alien ornamental plants. Native plants are plants found in our area before Europeans settled to extensively clear the land and bring exotic plants from overseas. Hundreds, if not thousands, of plants fall into this category. Many are very beautiful and underused in our residential landscapes today. So watch your screen to jot down the first 3 native plant sales starting on March 29th through April 12th. Don't worry, there's 5 more native plant sales from April 26th to May 4th that will be listed over the next couple of weeks, so keep watching Easy Being Green. If homeowners convert and minimize areas of lawn or non-native invasives and replace with native plants, conservation landscapes will benefit our local streams and the Chesapeake Bay by helping us minimize the need for irrigation, pesticides, and fertilization. Native plants help remove suspended solids and heavy metals from the groundwater. They stabilize our soils and prevent erosion. Best of all, they are relatively low maintenance once established and better adapted to our local soil and climate conditions, which will result in less need for herbicides, fertilizers, pesticides, or soil conditioning. Since native plants have been growing and evolving with other plants, animals, and insects, they play an important role in our local ecosystem. They provide food and habitat for local wildlife, birds, and beneficial pollinators like our bees and butterflies. So definitely tune in next week to hear about the milkweed and the monarch. Remember, it's easy being green using our Mid-Atlantic native plants in your garden.
You gotta keep on watching, right? You
That's
gotta keep
right.
on watching your segment.
How about ephemerals? Can you buy ephemerals? And
You can!
You can?
You remember the ephemeral.
And another question for you, is a mushroom an ephemeral?
No, definitely not. Stay away
Okay.
from the poisonous ones.
But they come up and then they disappear, and see them until next year, right?
No, the ephemerals truly show up one day and they're gone the next day.
Oh, really? Okay.
right.
They come and go.
That's a good, well, that's good information. Thanks,
Thank
Adele.
you so much, Adele,
Appreciate
yeah.
it. Okay, here we go. As promised now with our CBB, our Community Bulletin Board file. Well, this weekend isn't St. Patrick's Day, but it's coming soon. There'll be lots of festivities coming up to celebrate it on Saturday, March 15th. You can celebrate the Irish spirit at several Arlington bars and watering holes participating in the Shamrock Crawl, the St. Patty's Day version of a bar crawl between 2 and 9 p.m. Local bars will have a host of St. Patty's Day theme parties, favors and prizes. Clarendon Grill, Whitlow's, Arlington Rooftop, and Hunan One are just a few of the Arlington establishments that will be participating. You can visit theshamrockcrawl.com to register and get all the details. More information on March, St. Patty's Day coming up. Daniel?
That's right, Craig. On Sunday, March the 16th, starting at noon, you can attend Washington, D.C.'s 43rd Annual St. Patrick's Parade. It will run along Constitution Avenue from 7th to 17th Streets Northwest, and you can get there by Metro, exiting from Federal Triangle, Archives Navy Memorial, and Smithsonian Metro stations. Visit DC patsparade.com to learn more on the event. Greg.
All right, Daniel, and on Monday, March 17, it is St. Patty's Day and Mardi Gras. That is the Mardi Gras celebration that was postponed because of snow. Well, it has been rescheduled, and it'll take place starting at 8 p.m. along Wilson Boulevard from North Barton Street to North Irving Street in Clarendon. So St. Patty's Day and Mardi Gras Take Two will be coming to Clarendon.
Coming
so
up.
Get ready, here it comes. Daniel.
Well, Craig, on Friday, March the 21st at 7 p.m., Arlington Independent Media is having, yes, a karaoke night. Members and guests can stop by for a night of fun and singing at their facility, which is located at 2701 C. Wilson Boulevard. Call 703-524-2388 for more information. Correct.
I think I'll sign up for that one. I'll practice singing the news.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to sing the news.
That should be
so
very
that'll be a good
interesting,
place to
Craig.
warm up. All right.
I'm sure people will enjoy that one.
We'll be back with our News for Seniors file right after we hear from Rich Masabdi and his reviews. Here's Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Thank you,
Take
boys.
it away,
Thank you,
Rich.
Take it
boys.
away. Sing it.
Yeah, I was just talking to one of our colleagues here, Cam Pippett, about the Joffrey Ballet. We both saw it separately at the George Mason Center for the Arts.
All right.
And they were there for two performances. I caught one of them. And, well, they're renowned. They've been around for about roughly maybe 20 years. Mm-hmm. And they just do modern dance and ballets type things and to jazzy humor. Just terrific. Watch for them next time. You can check with the Center for the Arts by looking at their website, cfa.gmu.edu, or call 1-888-945-2468 to see what's coming up. And a lot of good stuff is out there. I don't know how many of you go out there, Center for the Arts. Hey, I'm starting to review high school stuff. Yorktown. I went that last time. Yorktown.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, but I actually went to see Alice in Wonderland, and gee, I never saw so many kids on the stage.
Everybody gets into the act.
That's right. That's right. And
It's a part for
How
everybody.
was it?
it was pretty good. An old pal of mine, Devin Parker,
Yeah,
was in this
right.
thing.
Mr. Parker.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Your new best friend.
That's right. That's right.
An aspiring
I like
actor.
him. Yeah.
Right.
And but you know, they're pretty good to see. You know, you can check their website. They get YHS Theater with an RE.org and see what else they're doing at Yorktown.
How did he do?
Huh?
How did Mr. Parker do?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I got to get his old man to get me some tickets. You know,
Yeah.
Todd Parker. You know him?
Yeah, we got to wave at him just in case.
Don.
Just in
okay.
case he's forgotten
Okay.
where we are out here.
Well,
carry on.
but anyway, I was very impressed. Very impressed. The Little Theater of Alexandria has a riveting 4-person play called Proof. It's about a brilliant mathematician, Robert, played by Chuck Leonard, and his daughter, Catherine, played by Ann Fagan. And then the next thing, the father dies, and she goes on as like flashbacks to when he was young and they were young and everything. But it's pretty darn good acting. It's a little different than you normally see. It's a very realistic portrayal of families with members struggling with depression too. So wonderfully directed by Susan Devine. And anyway, this plays through March 29 at the Little Theater of Alexandria. Get to know that place. They do good stuff. For information and tickets, call 703-683-0496 and check the website at thelittletheater.com. Well, let's see what I got next here. Oh, yeah, all right. I've got two restaurants here. I think is the first one Catch 15? Who knows? Tell me that. Put it on the screen so I'll know. Nobody's saying anything. Ah, right, Catch 15. Well, this is a restaurant that opened up just less than a month ago at 1511 K Street in the district. And since I'm so popular, they contacted me. If I'd come down there and eat an oyster or two. It's Catch 15 is a seafood and oyster house.
Ah, really?
And so here I got myself down there just so I could tell you boys
What
about
a
it.
sacrifice, yeah.
You know?
Somebody's got to do it.
That's right. But it's pretty good stuff.
Catch 15?
Catch, like catch the fish or
got
something.
the
Right, Catch
exclusive.
15.
Yeah, that's right. And if I can see you, there's a phone number there. I got to read my own phone number. What is it? 202, what's the rest of it? 969
2858.
2858. Call them up and tell them I said to give you an oyster on the house or something.
An oyster on the house.
Something like that. But I was impressed with the management. The owner was there, not because I was there, but it was packed. And
On K Street?
Yeah, 1511 K.
1511K, so by K and 15th or something.
There's also, by the way, next door to him is Archibald's. You know that place?
Oh, yeah, sort of,
Go-Go
kind of,
place?
sort of.
The Go-Go place?
Oh, Archibald's. Oh, that place.
Yeah.
It's still there?
Yeah, sure. And I made sure to go in there for your sake.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, so I could report to you.
I want a full report on that one.
And finally, I went all the way out just for you guys, all the way out to
finally.
Reston.
Wow, you're
Isn't that
dedicated.
something?
What a
Yeah.
sacrifice. Another sacrifice for the
That's
show.
true.
That's right. Tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
There's a heck of a good restaurant there, Gregorio's Trattoria.
Ooh.
It's off the Reston Parkway.
Trattoria.
And, they got a place in Potomac, Maryland, too, but this is over in Reston at the North Point Village Center. And, well, they got a lot of good stuff.
Gregorio sounds Italian, Greek
Yeah,
Italian.
it is, and very nice. They got my friend. I was with a friend of mine who told me about it, who lives in Potomac, Maryland. Mm-hmm. He got a veal chop that was like that.
Veal chops. You're
Yeah.
a veal chop guy.
And I told him I got to have veal parmesan.
Aha.
You know.
Yes.
And they said we do the real thing here. And I have to agree, it was damn good.
All right.
So anyway, people.
Gregorio's
Yeah.
in Potomac.
Yeah, and their phone number there is 703-689-4894, or you can look them up under www.
Another W. Throw another one in there just for goodness.
GregoriosTrattoria.com. Okay, that's it, folks. There's
All
just so
right.
much I
Yeah.
can do for you people at this kind
That's
of
all right. We appreciate
salary.
it.
The next place you have to go is Ben's
This
Chili
salary
Bowl
level.
in Roslyn.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
It's
Ben, you haven't been to Ben's yet?
No.
It's very
No,
good.
why don't you take me
Okay.
there?
Take us all there. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
All right, we got Nort coming up next. Okay, here we go. We'll be back with our News for Seniors segment right after we hear from Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute. Here's Nort.
Hi, I'm Nort Beckerman, the brain health coach. Stress under competitive circumstances can be a good thing, but stress can be nasty and damaging to brain function if it hangs around too long. The stress response developed as the brain's primary survival mechanism. If a threat was present, the primary brain was alerted and the stress response kicked in, causing the hormone cortisol to be released. Cortisol slows down all systems not needed to eliminate the stressor. It even reduces blood flow. Threats require more focus, effort, and energy. That means more sugar. The brain releases adrenaline, a sugar substitute, But the brain can also only produce so much adrenaline before it runs out. The adrenaline depletes, but the cortisol remains. The cortisol becomes toxic, attacks nerve tissue, and causes cell damage, affecting function. Try to avoid situations that produce unnecessary or long-term stress. Staying properly hydrated, physically active, and meditating are excellent ways to relieve stress. I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. I'll see you next time for a Brain Healthy Minute.
You better roll it to the next one. And as promised, here's our News for Seniors segment, rolling right along. Here we go. All right, the Arlington Lions Club will have a free 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 hearing screenings, plus an overview of hearing loss and communication challenges. The presentation will be given by Marla Doherty. Doherty. Thank you. Sorry, Marla. From Northern Virginia Resource Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. The event will be held at Lee Senior Center Wednesday, March 19 at 11:30 in the morning. Call Lee for appointment and more information, 703-228-0555. Daniel.
Well, thank you, Craig. Yes.
There you
well,
go.
Robert Gwaltney, certified home inspector and founder of Old Dominion Home Inspections, will meet with seniors to explain what they can do to prepare their homes to age in place. He will outline significant ways in which seniors can improve security and accessibility. This is a free program, yes, free, and it will be on Wednesday, that's March the 19th at 1:30 p.m. at Euro Hills Senior Center. Call them to register at 703-228-5722. Craig.
All right, and also on our News for Seniors file, Capital Bike Shares has placed over 1,800 red bicycles at bike stations all around Arlington, Alexandria, and the district. The Arlington County 55 Plus Biking Group is sponsoring a session on how to use Capital Bike Share. That's coming up on Thursday, March 20 at 1 in the afternoon at Walter Reed Senior Center. Seniors should bring a bike helmet if they would like to participate in a short ride on a bike provided by Capital Bike Share after the meeting. For more information and to register, call Walter Reed at 703-228-0955. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Arlington's Office of Senior Adult Programs publishes a 32-page bi-monthly 55 Plus guide with a listing of activities and programs at all 6 senior centers and community centers with senior programs. Seniors who register with OSAP and pay an annual fee of $20 receive the guide as part of their registration fee. Arlington Weekly News viewers can receive a complimentary copy of the new March-April guide by calling 703-228-4721. And as always, we want to thank our own Judy Masomny. Thank you so much, Judy, for your hard work and dedication each and every week.
Thanks, Judy. We appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with a quick bye-bye if we have time, right after we hear from Miriam Gennari and her guest. Here's Miriam.
Thank you. I'm Miriam Gennari, and I'm here with Peter Anderson. Peter is a recent graduate of George Mason Law School. He's also a member of a steering committee for Tap in Arlington. We talked about Tap in Arlington with Jay Fazette when we had him on a show a while back, but all in all, what you're trying to do is steer people away from using single-use water bottles. Tell me about the project.
That's right, Miriam, and thanks for having me. Well, the project, like you said, is an educational outreach. We're trying to help Arlington residents choose to drink tap water instead of using single-use plastic bottles to sort of get a lot of that plastic out of our environment.
How did it all get started?
Well, about a year ago, as you mentioned, County Board Member Jay Fazette gathered a group of people to watch a film called Bag It, which talks about the destructive impact of plastic bags and plastic bottles on the environment. These folks were inspired to start the educational outreach, and I was sympathetic to the cause, so I got involved.
Well, I'm so glad that they recruited you. You're here today to share with us some statistics that might sway viewers into rethinking their use of plastic water bottles. Tell us a little bit about how it affects the environment.
Sure. Well, there's really 3 things that stand out for me. Too much plastic ends up in our landfills and oceans, rivers, streams. Plastic is very energy intensive, both to create and to dispose of, and it costs the consumer a lot of money. So I can tell you, start with the cleanup problem.
Yeah, let's start with the harmful effects.
Sure. So what happens after you use an individual plastic water bottle? First, almost 1,500 plastic water bottles are used every second in the United States. This adds up to almost 50 billion used per year. Yet 69% of these plastic bottles are not even recycled. So where do they end up? They end up in landfills. Also in rivers, streams, oceans.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's no problem. That plastic that ends up in landfills and in our parks takes almost 450 years to break down. So do we really want these chemicals leaching into our water and soil?
All right, now let's talk a little bit about the energy that goes into making water bottles.
Sure. Before you use that plastic bottle, it takes almost 2,000 times as much energy to produce bottled water as it takes to produce an equal amount of tap water. Production and transport of plastic bottles in the U.S. market consumes more than 30 million barrels of oil per year and produces as much carbon dioxide as 2 million cars on the road.
All right, well, I know that some people are concerned about the environment, others about energy use, but a lot of people are concerned about how it affects their wallet. So give me some of those numbers.
Sure, well, that speaks to me as a young person. So tap water in Arlington costs the individual consumer less than 1 cent per gallon when you look at your water bill. Whereas, by contrast, buying individual bottled water costs 1,000 times as much as drinking tap water. To put things in perspective, single-use bottles of water cost roughly twice as much as gasoline.
Wow, that is really going to affect the pocketbook one day. All right, so as you're out talking to people, I'm sure there's going to be questions and concerns. What are some of the biggest concerns people raise?
Sure. The first thing people say to me is safety. Can I drink the tap water? Is it safe? I respond, yes. Arlington County tap water meets or exceeds the federal Safe Drinking Water Act standards, the Virginia Department of Health standards, and we know this because the county tests the water up to 65,000 times per year.
Wow, highly invested in our water.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another excuse people give is taste. They say they prefer the taste of bottled water to tap water, but studies have shown only about 1/3 of folks can detect a difference in taste between bottle and tap, and other blind taste tests have shown that over half the people prefer the taste of tap water anyway.
Isn't that amazing?
A final excuse people give me is, oh, I always recycle. Well, recycling is good, but it's very energy intensive. So we'd rather reduce demand. We'd rather reduce the amount of plastic present and need something to do with it.
Not only that, but recycling costs the county a lot of money.
It does cost the county a lot of money. Convenience is another thing. People are worried about carrying it with them. But it's not difficult to just have a permanent bottle like this one and refill it at water fountains. A lot of local businesses are willing to fill your bottle for free.
Oh, and so that'll save you time, that'll save you money, and certainly you don't have to deal with the waste. Exactly. All right, well, I'm sure you're going to get also asked, when is it appropriate to use plastic water bottles?
Sure. In emergency situations where maybe you don't have access to tap water, or maybe like in West Virginia recently when there was a problem with the tap water. We would know that since our county tests so regularly.
Okay, but it's never a good idea to use those shot glass size water bottles. You want to go out and get 2 or 3 gallon jugs.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot more sense.
Absolutely.
All right, so what is it that the steering committee is doing to try to help educate people? I know you have a website called Tap In Arlington. What are your goals?
Sure. Well, our goal is for people to take the pledge. The pledge is just a choice. It asks people to say, I choose to drink tap water instead of buying bottled water. And that's available on our website, www.tapinarlington.com. If you use .org, it'll redirect. And so our goal is to have 10,000 Arlingtonians sign the pledge.
And 10,000 would represent what percentage of our population here in Arlington?
Roughly 5%.
Okay, so if 5% of Arlingtonians choose to drink tap water rather than bottled water, it's likely that the county will continue to protect and invest in our water system, right?
Absolutely.
Makes great sense. We'll protect our water because we're drinking from the tap, so we'll be careful about what we put down the drain, and we'll also be conscientious about wasting.
Absolutely.
These are all great things.
It's a more sustainable practice.
And that's what we want. And I'm just thrilled that citizens have gotten together to build this coalition. I hope that you reach your 10,000 and exceed it. And I want to thank you for joining us today, Peter.
Thank you.
All right. I want you to go to tapinarlington.com or .org and sign up and take the pledge. I will too.
All right, thanks, Miriam.
Thank you,
Don't
Miriam.
forget to try to tap in Arlington. See how it tastes. All right, that's about a wrap. Anything else to add
No.
before we go, gentlemen?
That's it.
That's
That should
it.
do
We're
it.
done. Thanks to all of you for watching.
Thank you so
Join us
much.
again next week, and we'll do another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Take care. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Bye.